this is Threshold Training's workout day for Tuesday, September 8th. Hope you all had an awesome, long 3-day weekend and are prepped for this awesome week. School is starting and the fall breeze and weather is here. So we have a fun workout for today. We're going to slow it down a little bit, or at least decrease the time limit compared to yesterday. Hopefully we're recovering from that. We are starting off with some weightlifting. We are going to be doing a complex of pressing and split jerks. So every 2 minutes for 8 sets or 16 minutes, we're going to do 2 strict press plus 2 split jerks from the rack, and not from the floor. Our goal is to build to a moderately challenging load for the strict press, and then for the last 2 reps during that split jerk, focus on a quick drop underneath the bar and landing in that split position. Then for sets 4 through 8, we are keeping the same load across the rest of the sets. So you only build 4 times and then keep the load the same through the rest of the every 2 minutes or the 16-minute period. All right, so for the strict press and split jerk movements, one thing we want to be aware of is our front rack position. For the strict press, it is okay that our elbows come a little lower than, say, a front squat, where our elbows are way up and out, and we need to have a good front rack position so that the bar, the heavy bar, doesn't leave our body, roll down, and our chest position stays tall as we go down into a squat. Because we're not squatting today, okay, we still need to, yes, have a upright torso position, but again, our elbows can drop until our forearm is almost perpendicular to the ground or almost pointing up towards the ceiling. Okay, that way and that way. And so from here, I'm going to move my head out of the way. My lower body is locked solid. My ribs are pulled down. I'm going to press up in front of my face and then push my head and chest through the window of my shoulders, finishing overhead so that the bar is locked out over my shoulder, over my torso, over my ankle. Right? What we want to try to avoid is a lean back, okay, or a swooping of the bar up and over. Okay? So we're getting that bar nice and close to our forehead as best as we can. So we have a nice, straight, vertical bar path. And that's for the strict press. For the split jerk, okay, you're going to need to bring your elbows just slightly more in front of the bar. This will prevent the bar from dropping below your shoulders. Okay, that'll just increase the distance that you have to go and get the bar overhead. Okay? So instead of having your forearms vertical, bring them in front of the bar now, so you have a bit more room to rest on your shoulders. Then from here, you have a shallow dip and punch, and we're landing in that split jerk position. Notice my knee is pretty close to underneath my hip. I shouldn't be reaching out super duper far here, okay, because that's going to displace more weight forward onto my front leg. My goal is to be balanced between my front and my back leg during the split jerk. So think about going down as you split jerk versus reaching forward and aft a lot with your feet. Okay, so once we are done the every 2 minutes, we will go into part B. Part B is 8-minute AMRAP at a tough pace. We're doing 10 burpees to a plate, and then 50, that's 5-0, double unders. Okay, you may scale this to regular burpees. You may scale this to burpees from an incline. You may also scale the double unders to single unders. After your jump rope, we're going to take a 20-second rest. This is kind of a Henry-infused pacing strategy. Okay? So that 20-second rest will give you a breather so that you can continue to move at a tough pace in those burpees and those double unders. If you say you don't have quite 50 double unders in the bank from multiple sets, maybe it's just 20 to 35 double unders. But once we're getting below 20, then let's add in some single unders. So for example, you might have or be able to do 10 double unders per round, then add the balance in single unders, let's say. Okay, so you're still getting some double under practice, but you're still moving through, and the double unders aren't catching you up and now each round is taking you, 2, 3, 4 minutes or so. Okay? So, let's go back to part A. If you are at home and you only have a dumbbell, okay, we're going to do a couple different dumbbell movements within this every 2 minutes. So, first movement is going to be 4 strict press per arm. At the end of that 4th strict press, we're going to do 4 reverse lunges, okay, on the opposite leg, with the opposite leg stepping back, that is. Then we'll switch sides, 4 strict press, and then keep the weight up for reverse lunges. Okay, the goal is to work on that overhead balance and coordination with those lunges. Okay, so make sure you're pressing as you're decelerating your body down into that lunge. If it needs to be a step back, but not full range of motion lunge, that is fine. And then again, we'll switch arms. So 4 presses, 4 lunges. And you'll have the balance and the time remaining as rest. Then for here, at home, you can do burpees to the plate or burpees to a step, if you will. That is fine. Regular burpees also work if you don't have anything awesome to jump to. For each, just so you're aware, burpees to a plate, the plate only really needs to be a couple inches, so it could even be that you just touch a book or you jump towards a big book. That works too. In general, for the burpee movement, for everybody, okay, we're looking for the hands and the chest to touch the floor with the face beyond the fingers. Okay, so that way we're not getting our head near our hands like this. Okay, they're down low as if you were going to the bottom of a push-up. This is the burpee variation of movement where you really want to get your legs as close to your feet. No, you want to get your legs as close to your hands as possible. This way you can minimize the jump distance to the burpee to plate. So what I mean by that is, we're going down to our burpee here. We're going to really shoot our legs forward as best we can so that we have minimized the jump. If I only bring my legs up this far, I now have that much to jump or step and jump to the plate. In addition, when you're jumping off the plate, make sure you jump a healthy distance back so that your face isn't coming towards the plate. So that is to say, I'm jumping back and jumping my hip back so I'm not hitting the plate or I'm not close to hitting the plate, versus doing the burpee over the plate. Okay? For our double unders, a couple things to think about. 1, making small wrist circles with our jump rope. Ideally, the movement comes from our wrist. Okay, so our shoulder isn't doing a big swing. We're kind of painting a small circle with our wrist. Shoulders are under tension, but they're not moving. Same thing with our elbows. They're not extending every single time. They may extend a little bit. They shouldn't be going straight necessarily backwards, because once our elbow extends and our wrist goes back behind us, what happens is the rope will start to trip underneath your feet in front of us. Okay, so keep the hands in front, paint small circles with your wrist. Even if you're doing single unders, you can still practice that position as you're going through the workout for today. All right, guys, that is our workout today for Tuesday. Have an awesome day and a great